think of earthquakes, we think of California and how they have such a big problem over there. We don't really think about it a whole lot over here, but according to Becky Oskin from LiveScience.com on January 23rd, 2014, we have roughly 200 per year in the Midwest. This is due to the New Madrid seismic zone. This is a fault line that runs through southern Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee area. So even though it is still in very southern Illinois, because it's such a big fault line, it can affect us with the aftershocks especially. So I'm going to talk about 3 ways to prepare for an earthquake. First one is knowledge, knowing what an earthquake is. Second is taking preventative measures. We obviously can't prevent an earthquake, but we can prevent injuries or deaths that might happen because of it. And third is practice. So first of all, what is an earthquake? A lot of us have a general idea. It's when the earth moves, when plates are pushing together. According to Lisa Wald on July 18th, 2012, from the United States Geological Survey, or the USGS, she roughly describes it as 2 blocks that slip together. She talks about how the plane with which they collide or slide against each other is called a fault line. She goes on to talk about foreshocks, which can sometimes happen before the main shock that most of us would feel, and aftershocks, which always happen after the main shock. And with aftershocks, they follow a pattern that's known as Amory's law, which is essentially aftershocks decrease with time. And one of the main concerns with the New Madrid seismic zone is that these aftershocks are not following this pattern, which makes us think that it's more of a foreshock than an aftershock. And although it's really impossible for us to tell whether it's a foreshock until the main shock happens, it's always good for us to prepare. So part of the preventative measures is looking around your house. Knowing how to shut off the gas, the electric, the water, because these are all really important things for after an earthquake happens. From an unknown author from the Center of Disease Control on April 20th of 2012, most of the deaths caused from an earthquake is from falling objects or collapsing buildings. So one of the most important things to do is either think about where you're placing tall, heavy furniture like a bookshelf or a china cabinet, or make sure they're bolted to the wall so they don't fall over in such an accident. Another important thing is not hanging heavy objects. They use, in some of the articles I read, a bowling ball over your bed. You obviously wouldn't want that there because earthquakes can happen any time of the day and any time of the year. And another thing for preventative measures is, like anything, fire-safe boxes for any important documents, because floods and fires and all sorts of things can happen. So just having that for any sort of emergency, as well as a first aid kit everywhere when you're home, when you're car, school, work, just something simple to carry with you. That's good for everything plus earthquakes. And thirdly is practice. By an unknown author from ready.gov. On August 27, 2014, they suggest the drop, cover, and hold on. So that starts as soon as the shaking starts. You're supposed to drop to the floor on your hands and knees. This helps prevent falling over from the earthquake, so injury to you that way, and you're still able to move around until you find a safe place. Cover would be trying to put one hand over your neck and your head, like you would in a tornado drill, to protect your neck and head from any falling debris. And holding on would be finding a sturdy piece of furniture, usually a desk or a table, or even an interior supporting wall away from windows, similar to like a tornado, where you would just stand there and hold on to that until the shaking stops. And it's suggested that if you are stuck in a place where you can't get out necessarily safely or easily, not to scream for help until it is a last resort, because screaming could cause a dangerous amount of dust inhalation. So in summary, it's pretty easy to prepare for an earthquake as long as you now already know what an earthquake is, what causes it, practice these preventative measures, and practice escape plans as well as the cover, drop, and hold on.
Your question?
Oh. Any questions?
Where's the best place in the house to protect yourself when an earthquake happens?
A lot of people think it is a doorway, but that is actually not true. There's a lot of things that could hit you. Everything that I've read says do not rely on a doorway. It's best to go under a piece of furniture or behind an interior wall to protect you from anything flying.